Hello. Good morning. I decided to pop on and just let everybody know or remind you that we're not reading this morning. Uh, but we are going to read the end of chapter 9, and that is going to be verses 13 through 41. So heck, why don't I read this morning? So Jesus just spit in some dirt and rubbed it on a man's eyes, healed his blindness. This guy was born blind, but now he sees. So they brought the man who used to be blind to the Pharisees. Now the day on which Jesus made the mud and caused him to see was a Sabbath. So the Pharisees asked him again how he had gained his sight, and he replied, "He put mud on my eyes, and I washed, and now I'm able to see." Then some of the Pharisees began to say, "This man is not from God, because he does not observe the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a man who is a sinner perform such miraculous signs?" Thus there was a division among them. So again they asked the man who used to be blind, "What do you say about him, since he caused you to see?" "He is a prophet," the man replied. Now the Jewish religious leaders refused to believe that he had really been blind and had gained his sight, until at last they summoned the parents of the man who'd become able to see. And they asked the parents, "Is this your son, whom you say was born blind? Then how does he see now?" So his parents replied, "We know that this is our son and that he was born blind. But we do not know how he is now able to see, and nor do we know who caused him to see. Ask him. He's a mature adult. He'll speak for himself." And his parents said these things because they were afraid of the Jewish religious leaders. For the Jewish leaders had already agreed that anyone who confessed Jesus to be the Christ would be put out of the synagogue. For this reason, his parents said, "He is a mature adult. Ask him." Then they summoned the man who used to be blind a second time and said to him, "Promise before God to tell the truth. We know that this man is a sinner." He replied, "I do not know whether he is a sinner, and I do know one thing, that although I was blind and now I see." No, sorry. He replied, "I do not know whether he is a sinner. I do know one thing, that although I was blind, now I can see." Then they said to him, "Well, what did he do to you? How did he cause you to see?" And he answered, "Oh my goodness. No, 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 no. We're not going to do that right now." Okay. Then they said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he cause you to see?" And he answered, "I told you already, and you didn't listen. Why do you want to hear it again? You people don't want to become his disciples too, do you?" And they heaped insults on him, saying, "You are his disciple. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God has spoken to Moses, and we do not know where this man comes from." And the man replied, "This is a remarkable thing, that you don't know where he comes from, and yet he caused me to see. We know that God doesn't listen to sinners, but if anyone is devout and does his will, God listens to him. Never before has anyone heard of someone causing a man born blind to see. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing." And they replied, "You were born completely in sinfulness, and yet you presume to teach us?" So they threw him out. Well, Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, so he found the man and said to him, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And the man replied, "And who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus told him, "You have seen him. He is the one speaking with you." He said, "Lord, I believe," and he worshipped him. And Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into this world, so that those who do not see may gain their sight, and the ones who see may become blind. Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard this and asked him, "We are not blind too, are we?" And Jesus replied, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now, because you claim that you can see, your guilt remains." All right, brothers and sisters, have a good day. See you later.